His nose was straight, but his head was tilted as he looked at the playing cards he had in his hand. "Come on," the girl said. Ozzy looked across the table, and his eyes settled on Sigi. Her mop of curly hair was tied back, the overhead chandelier spotlighting her face. Her dark skin was beautiful to Ozzy, something he thought he'd seen in a giant box of crayons. She had turned 16 2 weeks before, but she carried herself with an unusual confidence that made her look years older. "Seriously," Sigi said with a smile of teeth and tease, "you're slower at this game than Monopoly." "You should see him play Pictionary," a small bird chirped in. Clark was no ordinary bird, quite the opposite. He had been created by Ozzy's father many years before to aid him in his scientific endeavors. Clark was mostly made of metal. His body and wings were black, but his tail was tin, his beak was gold, and the tips of his talons were copper. He was sentient, sarcastic, and something to behold. "I'm not that bad at Pictionary," Ozzy said defensively. "It took you like an hour to draw a rock," Clark reminded him. "You're a good drawer, but you shouldn't add shade and dimension while playing Pictionary." "I do," Ozzy said. "Rocks are important." "You sound like Rin," the bird said without thinking. Ozzy stared at Sigi and Clark as an awkward silence dropped in. The truth was they all wished Rin were there, but the wizard was gone. He had slipped away after the great fight at the top of the stormy mountain in New Mexico. Rin said he was going to Quarfeld, a place for wizards that may or may not exist. He had vanished like a ghost, and all three were constantly looking over their shoulders, or wings, in hope that he would reappear. The only contact any of them had received was a short phone call to Ozzy 2 weeks before, on Sigi's birthday. Even though he had made no mention of his daughter's birthday, the call had still filled them with hope. But since then, nothing. "Rin does like boulders," Ozzy said. Clark hopped off the table onto the top of Ozzy's head. Hoping to make the hair more nest-like, the bird began clawing at the boy's scalp with his copper-tipped talons. "Ouch!" "I bet people would pay good money to have their heads scratched like this," the bird pointed out. "I don't think they would." "Well, then, it helps my feet," Clark said. "I get restless talons if I don't move them around." "It's been 2 weeks since he called," Sigi complained. "I'm surprised he's not back." "Me too. He said something's happening." "I don't know about that phone call," Clark said, being the chirp of reason. "Mr. Wizard was probably just talking about getting a haircut. Or maybe he's gained weight and that's his way of telling you." "I don't think so," Ozzy said. The three of them had discussed the short phone call many times over the last 2 weeks. All their thoughts and theories were pointless, though, because there was no way to predict what a wizard like Rin ever meant, or to know what someone like him would do. Sigi yawned. "You know what? I'm sorry, but I think I'm done for the night." She tossed her cards onto the table. They'd been playing a slow game of cards for an hour, but the dark wind outside made it feel like the world was shutting down. And Sigi, it seemed, felt the same way. "I'll see you 2 in the morning." Ozzy set his cards down. "Good, I was about to lose anyway." "Good night, Ozzy," she said with a smile. He smiled back, and Sigi slipped off to her first-floor room near the home's library. "Is your face okay?" Clark asked once she was gone. "I mean, is that supposed to be a smile?" "Yes," Ozzy said as he stood up. "Human mouths are so messed up. I like a straightforward beak. We can't all be perfect. Your smile just proved that point." Ozzy put away the cards and moved out the side door of the kitchen. Outside was a short breezeway and a steep set of wooden stairs